Hi, me, Lee Benson, reading from A Brush with Paradise. Hey, it's available on Amazon, you know, although I've got an official book launch in June. I'll tell you more about that later. This is chapter 7. It's called The Lesson. After several days of relaxed paintings and nocturnal workouts, I suddenly developed a mental block. It wasn't that I was painting all the time. I just felt I had to do more. Something inside me thought I should do something useful. That was the argument. That art was never a proper job, you see. There I was, dissing my artistic talents again. Anyway, I had a mad idea to offer my talents to the locals. I put up a poster in the local general store which stated, "Art classes for beginners. Everyone welcome. Come along to the meeting hall at 11 o'clock on Wednesday. Free admission for the first class." It was Monday evening, sundown the time, and if you don't know what that was, well then let me explain. It involved rum and whatever floated your boat, which fundamentally included cocktails and large quantities of rums and ice. Oh yes, and bleeding mosquitoes, plus that great grapefruity addition, ting. That was the sparkle in the mix, a bit like 7-Up but more refreshing, which somehow made the drink slip down even easier. I did not disagree. So in a word, one sipped away watching the sunset and talking rubbish to anyone and everyone. The locals were friendly and everyone chipped in whether you knew each other or not. And would you believe it, the more you supped, the friendlier it all became. The problem with sundowners, though, were the sunrisers. You see, as with the laws of physics, the more you drank, the more you hurt the next day. Trust me, I'd been practicing for ages and I still hadn't mastered the art yet. One of the local ladies tapped me on the shoulder. "What's with the art class on Wednesday? You know that's the same time as our yoga class for seniors. That's not good. You must change it if you want to see anyone." "Oh, okay. What would be a better time for you ladies? I would hate to upset you all," I replied. "Me thinks around 3 o'clock. That's just fine. I go tell me sisters." She nodded as the deal had been struck. She hadn't asked if I was doing anything on the afternoon. Well, the truth was, I was not. Sounds like a great plan. "Shall I see you all on Wednesday afternoon, then?" She shrugged, sucked through her teeth, smiled and walked off. I was none the wiser. Memo to self. Change time on notice board to 3 o'clock. At 2:30 I arrived armed with some sketchbooks and felt pens, as it was all the shop had, and then duly scattered some chairs in a semicircle and placed the equipment on the only table available, a genuine melamine table from way back. Retro, I believed. Then I waited some more, and hoped for the best. At the wonderful hour of 3 o'clock, nobody strolled through the door. I sighed. It was far too optimistic an opportunity. Still, it was nice and cool in the room. I shrugged, then began to gather the felt pens back up, and just as I placed the last one back in the bag, the door swung open. "You started yet?" A bright, yellow-bloused woman with a great big smile, hair all tied up in a well-organised mess, looked around. Thought not. Far too early, Mr. Painter Man." "Isn't 3 o'clock a good time, then?" I replied. "Sure thing. But just 'cause it say 3, don't mean it start at 3. "I'm so sorry," I said, somewhat bemused. "What time would you like me to start?" And suddenly 6 ladies appeared, chatting away, and ignored me, followed by 3 more. Then an elderly woman with a long, gnarled walking stick with bells and tassels on it appeared. "Young man, you better be good. Me time is precious, you know." "Well, I trust you won't be disappointed then." I took a bow and walked to the front of the readily assembled, somewhat near 3 o'clock art class. "Good afternoon, ladies. I'm delighted you've all turned up, and I promise that this will be fun and enjoyable." "So you're going to provide extra things to make it more fun? Lordy, what will me husby say to that?" chimed in Camilla, as let out a mighty laugh and beamed from ear to ear. There was a raucous explosion of laughter, and from then on, I knew it was going to be an energetic class. "Right. Quick observation, then. What colours are those palm trees?" "What you talking about? What colour is the palm tree?" "Palms are green, trunk is straw," replied Camilla. "Good start, but look some more now and tell me what you see." Suddenly everyone peered out and commented. "It's yellow," said one. "Green," said another. "Dark brown with them burnt leaves," said another. "So you see, it's not just green anymore, is it? Well done." What's this got to do with painting? Camilla was obviously the leader of the pack. Everything, I said as I placed my hands on the table. It's all about what you see and not what you know. All right, enough now with all that stuff. We want to paint, okay? As you wish. What would you like to paint then? I asked. Me want to paint the house and my husband not do it. Camilla looked pleased with her comments. Well, that brought the lesson to a total standstill, and the laughter and the banter of 8 women took over with a deafening decibel level. I sat down and waited. Actually, I did a lot of waiting as I developed my skill in that pastime. Eventually, after 5 minutes, I stood and coughed. This is going extremely well. You all express yourself so loud and fluently. Well, let's see if you can do it with paints and paper. I gave them a board with paper and paints. There you go, your very own blank canvas, so to speak. I opened the door and took a bow. This way, ladies, follow me and let's go make a masterpiece outside. The laughter continued as they all walked out. Well, at least you couldn't say they weren't enjoying themselves. So now what? Asked one of the class. Ladies, I want you to find a bit of shade and somewhere to sit and just look at the view for a few moments, then paint. Voila! Afterwards, we shall go back inside and see what we've achieved. The class slowly dispersed. Several decided to pair up and continue chatting and hopefully experience painting. I had to wait and see. After 10 minutes, I wandered around checking on their progress by nodding, tutting and occasionally saying, "Well done." Encouragement was the key to success, and I was delighted to say that we had some successful attempts at masterpieces. Well, what else would I have said? After an hour, I called out, "All right, let's see what you've done today. Back indoors, if you don't mind." "We don't mind a bit. Just don't say nothing about me trees," said one of the ladies. After a few minutes and a lot more laughter, the class examined each other's art. Well now, I am most impressed with all your hard work. There are some really good pieces here, and a few blissfully abstract ones too. Yeah, you guessed it. More laughter. In fact, the next time would have to be a laughter is good for you class with the art thrown in as an optional extra. I didn't think I was going to like it much, but I'm liking it a lot now. When you doing another one, me coming and I bring a few more sisters as well. I had approval from Camilla. Lucky me. Oh, that's brilliant, and thank you for all your hard work and effort. It gives me a great sense of pleasure and pride in what you've all achieved. How about same time next week? After much deliberation and discussion, the answer was a resounding yes. Till next week, ladies. We bring so much to drink next time too. A bit of magic, wait and see. One of the ladies smiled, then winked as her eyes sparkled cheekily as she sauntered past me. That's the end of the chapter. The Bensons' A Brush with Paradise, to be continued.